Hi, my name is Dan Smith. I am the author of several historical adventure stories, and I would like to tell you something about the Berlin Wall. Now imagine waking up in the middle of the night and looking out of your window to see that your street is filled with trucks and soldiers and police. Imagine that those soldiers are putting barbed wire right along the middle of the road to stop people from crossing. Well, that is exactly what happened in Berlin, the capital of Germany, on the 13th of August 1961. So let me take you back in time to 1945 and the end of the Second World War. After Germany surrendered, it was divided into 4 parts, and each part was put under the control of a different country. Those countries were the United Kingdom, France, the USA and the Soviet Union. Well, as you can see, Berlin, the capital of Germany, was deep in the heart of the area that was controlled by the Soviet Union, so that was also divided into 4 sectors. Now, just 4 years later, in 1949, Germany split into 2 different countries. The parts controlled by the UK, France and the USA joined together and became West Germany, while East Germany was still controlled by the Soviet Union. The capital city, Berlin, became West Berlin and East Berlin. The East German government closed the border between the 2 countries, but the border between West and East Berlin stayed open, and people could freely cross from one part of the city to the other, and it stayed that way for many years. But life grew hard in East Germany while West Germany prospered. People in West Germany had better jobs, better houses, better pay. They had luxury goods from around the world. In West Germany, people could read what they wanted to. They could listen to whatever music they wanted to listen to. They could watch whatever they wanted to watch on TV. But in East Germany, those things were restricted. Now, there were soldiers on every street in East Berlin. There were spies everywhere watching people. If you spoke out against the government, you might disappear in the middle of the night and never be seen again. Well, it wasn't long before East German people began to see that life in the West was more attractive, it was better, and people had more freedom. And a lot of those people in East Germany wanted that for themselves. So millions of young, skilled, motivated people left East Germany by simply crossing the open border in Berlin. Well, the East German government didn't like that. So without any warning whatsoever, at midnight on August the 13th, 1961, East German soldiers filled the streets of Berlin and began rolling barbed wire along the border, encircling West Berlin. In a single night, the city was divided in 2, making it impossible for anyone to move from one side of the city to the other. Families and friends were separated. Lives were broken apart. Well, people thought the barrier would be temporary, but no. Over the following months, the barbed wire became a wall, and that wall remained in place for almost 30 years. Now imagine if your best friend, your auntie, your grandparents lived in the East and you lived in the West, and you woke up one morning to find that you would never be able to see them again. Well, that is the setting for my story, The Wall Between Us, which is about 2 best friends, Anya and Monica, who live on separate sides of the same street in Berlin. It's the summer holidays and they're enjoying spending time together in and out of each other's houses. But one night, the barrier appears along the middle of the road, separating them from each other. Over the next few weeks, Anya begins to realise that she might never see her friend again. But then she notices that her cat, Otto, has found a way to get from one side of the wall to the other, and one night she decides to follow him. It's a decision which leads her and her family into a huge amount of danger, and she finds herself trapped in a world filled with soldiers and spies. So here's my writing challenge for you. Imagine you wake up in the middle of the night and look out of your window and see soldiers rolling barbed wire down the street. I'd like you to try writing a diary entry about it. What did you see? What did you hear? How did it make you feel? How many soldiers were there? Did people come out of their houses onto the street? What did they do? Maybe they tried to break the barrier down. I'll leave that all up to you. But remember this. This is a diary entry, so you'll be writing in the first person, and you can use quirky conversational writing to really let your personality show. The most important thing, though, is to have fun, which is what those magpies seem to be doing right now. Enjoy your writing.